So as you can see, the van's all stickered up. So what do you think?
Thank you very much for everybody who's contributed towards this tour. It's been really heartwarming to see all the money coming in, and hopefully we'll reach our target if that keeps coming in over the 8 weeks.
So we're going to be doing this tour in 8 weeks. We've got 56, we did have 57 places to go. We're down to 56. Taunton is now complete. Got all that, that's gone, but we've got Exeter to go. So we're doing Exeter tomorrow. We hope that some people will be out there helping us out with some sort of media. Contact the newspapers, radio stations, TV if you can. Contact your local MP. Yeah, so contact some media, and that will help us on every destination that we're going to go to. It'd be great to see some more people turn up. We had 2 people here today. It was fantastic. Met these guys. We'd like to meet so much more flat earthers and give us a hand. You can, if you're not too good at, don't have the confidence to talk to people, you can hand out some leaflets for us. You can help us in so many different ways. You can even donate.
In Taunton we met a couple of flat earthers who came out especially to see us, which was great to see. So hopefully as we travel down other cities and towns we'll see a lot more of you come out to meet us. That's really good to see so many flat earthers coming together.
So we're not quite there yet. We've had some donations come in. Thank you very much. We're nearly there. It's nearly all what's it paid for now, and then we can complete our journey. We've still got a little way to go, but look, you guys are amazing. Thank you very much.
Thanks to everybody for viewing this video. This is the start of our Flat Earth UK tour, and our first destination was Taunton, which we filmed.
Don't believe the papers, I don't believe the news, 'cause all that they serve you are opinionated views. Don't switch on my TV, 'cause all they do is lie. And I don't need no programming telling me what to buy. But I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free. Don't believe in aliens. Don't believe in God. Don't believe in war. What are the reasons why they're far? Don't believe celebrities pretending to be what they ain't. Make poverty history they say, all in the same. But I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free.
Yeah, jag har det.
I believe the truth will set you free. Don't believe the justice system will give you what what you deserve. It's always that vengeance, Lucifer himself. Don't believe facts around us. This leads you to the ground. When there's nothing left to get, they'll even take you home. But I believe the truth will set you free. 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 I believe the truth will set you free.
I'm wondering if I could ask you a response to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah. Do you live local?
Pretty close, yeah, pretty close.
Oh, right. Could I ask you on a scale of 1 to 10 how open-minded you are?
Very open-minded.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we were asking you to question what you've been told about living on a ball with water around it,
Yeah.
how open would you be to that?
I'm very open to it. I mean, I've actually come across it before.
All right.
It's a
Okay.
very interesting display you've got. So you believe this completely?
Well, it's not belief. It's annoying. It's annoying that we're on a flat station plane.
Yeah.
There's no proof that we live on a globe.
Yeah.
Are you aware that all those images are not real photographs?
Yeah, I'm aware of the dodgy stuff with NASA for sure. There's a lot. I mean, I knew that image of the Earth was quite a weird one because it was the only one in existence for like 30 years.
Absolutely.
Which is ridiculous.
And it looks just like CGI. It just doesn't
Yeah.
look real, does it?
Yeah.
No. So we go up and down the country and we do street interviews. And I've got a YouTube channel here, which we go from London to the Orkneys. We just
Right. Cool. And how are you finding it?
we find a lot of people like yourself who are open-minded. Not we necessarily expect them to believe that, but to actually think about it, contemplate it, and question what they've been told.
Right.
If I may say so, you were told, same age as me, around 5, when you believed in Santa Claus and Tooth Fairy,
Yeah.
that you live in this spinning ball with water on it.
That's right.
And we just accept that
Yeah.
without question.
I'm a primary school teacher. I've told other kids that.
Are you?
5 years old. It's crazy.
You're the third teacher that I've met who are starting to question this and saying, should I be telling the children this?
Well, actually, I left teaching because of it.
Did you?
Yeah,
Wow.
really.
Respect to you then.
Well, you know, it's a very big problem, and I think what you're doing is very impressive. I have actually seen your channel.
Oh, have you?
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Excellent.
I'm very impressed with the work.
Oh, brilliant. Well, we're in a
I don't know if you find that disappointing, but yeah, I'm very glad to meet you guys.
Oh, no, we're just, when we come across flat earthers in the street, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
Because people try to mock this, a lot of trolls and shills trying to mock it.
Right.
But there's a huge growing number of people out there who know that all they had was a belief.
right.
They had no evidence themselves.
Well, it's a very tough thing because, I mean, I don't think people are primarily driven by knowledge or facts. You know what I mean? They tend to be more driven by social, political influences.
Absolutely.
And that is the biggest problem you got.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah, but then I don't think intelligent mind is satisfied with theories and images.
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, I think there's a massive dissatisfaction in life today, generally, in Western civilizations, which is why I reckon this has exploded across the internet.
Yeah, it is exploding. There's just so many people waking up to it, and they're trying to suppress this at all costs. But you can't go back once you realise, everything I had was a belief. I believed everything I was told, you know.
Right.
And like all your bodily senses, if we're in touch with our senses, no disrespect to schooling, but I feel schooling suppresses our natural senses
It does.
over authority.
Right.
All your natural senses are telling you now you're not spinning faster than a speeding bullet.
Well, you don't even need to do that. I did physics at university, so
Oh,
I know
fantastic.
quite well, like, in circular motion. So one of the things I continually say to you is that if you're moving at a constant speed, you can't actually feel the motion, which is correct if you're moving on a perfectly smooth thing. But if you're moving in a circle, you're actually continually accelerating, because acceleration is changing direction as well as changing speed. So something moving in a circle will continually accelerate.
Yeah.
So you'll have that continual feeling because it's always getting moved into a different direction.
Yeah.
So
I think
we are stationary.
Yeah, I think the argument is, but gravity helps it keep it at a constant speed, you know, and
Yes.
it's just all theoretical nonsense
Right.
that they can't validate, they can't evidence. So
Yes.
it's theoretical, all of it. Gravity, totally theoretical,
Well, the part of it attracting planets is theoretical.
and holding water to a ball.
Yeah, correct. Okay.
It's-
But
it
the
can't
dropping
be-
stuff, I mean, the thing is, the dropping stuff, the hard thing is, because they've kind of sandwiched two things together, like
Yes.
a practical application,
Yeah,
and then something that's completely theoretical,
yeah,
that's what kind of throws people off because they can't separate the two.
yeah. And
know-
we get clever dicks who'll pull something out of their pocket and drop it. See, gravity. I said, well, okay, we both agree that's dropped, but can you evidence that some force was pulling that to the ground? You can't. That's a belief you have.
Yeah.
People have beliefs and they want to defend that at all costs rather
Right.
than question it.
Yeah.
Be open to questioning what they've been told. But
Well, I mean, a lot of it. I mean, it is. I don't know. I mean, I'm just not that sold on the conspiracy side of things. I think stupidity sells a lot of it. You know, I think people just once you get the ball rolling on something,
yeah,
it's like the Emperor's New Clothes. you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
Like, people are
But
so
I don't see
sleepy.
this as a conspiracy. I just see this. This is we've been told lies, and we don't have any valid primary experience of living on a ball.
Yeah.
And all these distant planets. I mean, they could tell you a new planet's been found light years ahead.
Yes.
How can we verify that? How can we challenge that? We
Right.
can't.
Well, I mean, that's the same with all astronomy. All astronomy is
absolutely.
non-verifiable
Yeah.
speculation. I mean,
On my channel, I interviewed an astrophysicist, and I started off by saying, can we start off by agreeing that everything you're going to tell me here, well, the majority of it's going to be second-hand information, isn't it?
yes.
And he went, well, okay. Well, of course it is, and he couldn't prove any of his points because
Yes.
he didn't anything.
But I mean, that's been cosmology right from the start. I mean, you know, Laplace, the guy who started cosmology, was sponsored by the French government essentially during the Revolution because, you know, they wanted to get rid of the idea of any kind of God,
Yeah.
to get rid of the idea that there was any divine right of kings,
Yeah.
to make sure they could get their democracy set up. So, I mean, these things have all political motivations
Yeah,
behind
absolutely,
them.
absolutely.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
and it's not very hard to find that stuff out, you know, because they wrote
Yeah.
about people like Voltaire and stuff like that, wrote about it quite openly in their memoirs.
I think a lot of people wrote about this openly, but you know they had book burnings and things were suppressed. And I
You
don't.
mean writing about flat Earth? Or-
Yeah, and proving we're not on a globe because I don't know if you're aware, but there was 5 scientific experiments that proved the Earth doesn't move.
Right.
Now they're not taught in school. And when I ask professors and students in science,
Yeah.
did you know about these? They know.
No.
Well,
I mean,
why not? Peer-reviewed scientific facts of experiments. I think there was 5. I can only remember Ailey's failure, Nicholson Morley,
yes.
and-
Yeah. Michelson Morley was the big one. I mean,
Yeah.
that's very famous.
and
Michelson Morley.
Sagnac. Yeah,
Because Michelson Morley was the one that they used to prove that the ether didn't exist
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
but it actually proved the opposite.
Yeah.
I mean, people just don't pay attention.
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of into Sunday Times science. Anything that makes a
yeah.
good couple of paragraphs.
But
easy
I think,
Sunday reading.
I think Nicholson Morley and others, they went out to prove that the Earth's movement.
Right,
But
they couldn't pick it up.
They had to conclude
Yes,
it
they
doesn't-
couldn't get the parallax
Yeah.
because there is no parallax.
No.
Because it's not moving. Right. Yeah. No, it's very interesting stuff, I
Yeah.
have to say. So yeah, you're doing a tour of England then?
Britain, Ireland, Wales,
Oh, okay.
Scotland.
Well, I tell you, there's an interesting place. If you go up to the north coast of Ireland, you know where the Giant's Causeway is?
Yes, yeah.
So on the Giant's Causeway,
Whereabouts in Ireland are you from?
I'm from the Giant's Causeway.
Oh,
that
wow.
area. So this is how I know this, and you know, whenever this kind of came to the forefront. About
Oh, we should go
3
there
years ago.
because it's an amazing photographic experience.
But also, there's a perfect view, so you can see from the Antrim coast, you can see the coast of Donegal,
Yeah.
and you can see the coast of the Inner Hebrides. So you've got like a perfect triangle, which is about 76 miles.
Yeah. Is that Isla and Jura? You can
Correct,
see.
Ireland and Jura. And you can see the coastlines the whole way up, and you can see the headlines, and you've got a stretch of water, which I measured the
Wow.
hypotenuse across, which is 80 miles of completely die flat water, which is, you know, that sold me straight away. I was like, once you've seen it
Yeah, well,
and you've got comparisons,
as we agreed, you can't go back, can you?
no.
And so many people are doing laser tests now, you know, across
I've seen them,
long distances and showing no curvature.
It's tough though, because I think that a lot of people, I mean, I would say probably about 80% of the population would not be confident in being able to draw conclusions from any kind of experiment. Do you know what I mean? I think, I mean, from what I remember,
But bit windy. I mean, there's
Right, you're gonna have to tie this down.
I have to get some string. Just after I do this one,
One sec, guys.
I'll hold this while you're.
Right, you got that?
I mean, you can do very basic experiments like go to a beach and people think a boat goes over the curvature of the Earth.
right?
Take a zoom camera or a telescope and see the whole of that boat, proving it's not going over curvature.
Okay, but the thing is, like, once you've done that, then you've got to make the stand.
How dare you throw my card away?
I'm actually going to hang on to that. You've got to make and it becomes a socio-political stand after that to go and say to somebody that that's what you've seen and that's what it means.
Yeah.
And I think that is a pretty big ask for most people because
But then if I take them to the beach myself and they can look, so it's primary observations, and say, oh, I can see the whole of the boat now. I really thought that had gone over the curvature.
right, but I mean, the thing is, it's how much people are bought into like the entire framework of the authority structure of society.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's the really big heavyweight
It
thing.
is. And no matter how many proofs you show them, they're still resistant.
Right, because the thing is, their livelihood, their existence.
Well, I would say it's because of this, the black area,
Right, okay. I mean, yeah, that's definitely and
cognitive dissonance.
right, because there's a whole kind of social and moral thing worn into it. I mean, human beings are very complex animals, but they are mostly social,
Yeah.
and that is such a heavy.
I would say I think we're quite simplistic, although we complicate it through not understanding ourselves. So our perceptions get a bit ski-whiffed because we don't really understand our own thinking.
Right.
Would you?
Possibly. I mean, like, put it this way. I mean, with me, like, let's say I can go and check out these experiments, and I saw the coastline. I go, it's flat.
Yeah.
Okay. I still would be very uncomfortable going into a classroom with kids and going, "Hey, look, guys, all of NASA, all of the government, the school board system, everything's wrong. The Earth's flat." Not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. But you set questions for these young minds to think critically.
Right.
Do you think children are taught critical thinking in school?
I think kids have it naturally. I mean, I can
Yeah.
remember, you know, I mean, I was brought up Catholic, which is quite an interesting thing because, you know, you're taught a lot about the Bible and it's Bible school. Do you know what I mean? You're taught
Yeah.
that the Bible is actually true or whatever, but then at the same time, you're being educated in the atheist education system, which is teaching you science and the Earth going around the sun and, you know, all the science stuff, you know.
No wonder we're all
dinosaurs.
confused.
Right. So that, I mean, I can remember that being very, you know, I mean, as a child, at 7 years old, I can remember thinking, how can these two contradictory things be true?
Yeah, well, absolutely.
And you know, you've got
So
two
did
sets of
I.
adults telling you
Yeah.
that these two contradictory sets of
Lying
things are
to you.
true. And at some point, as you become a teenager, you've got to make a decision about which one you're going to commit to.
I don't know about you, but I thought I'm not going to commit to any of them because I thought it was a bit like the political paradigm of left and right, where
Right.
both the same or they're both misleading.
Yeah.
So I thought there must be something else. I'm not buying any of these two because there was no proof of any. You know.
I agree, but I mean, I did commit to one. I fully committed to the scientific paradigm. By the time I was 13, 14, I was like, you know, Bible's a load of rubbish, completely, you know, and just went completely with the Richard Dawkins, Stephen
Yes,
Hawkins
yeah.
paradigm. I mean, that was and, you know, that lasted, you know, a good 25 years until this thing came along.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is, you know, and this is very interesting.
And where are you with your Catholicism now then?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm definitely Christian now, but I'm not Catholic.
Right.
I mean, I think the Catholic Church is largely responsible for this.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You know, I mean,
totally.
Jesuits have got a lot to answer for, I think.
Yeah, I think they've sort of hidden from the main line of questioning over the past few years, haven't they? But only now people are starting to think,
Right.
oh, they seem to be behind everything.
Well, the thing is, I mean, the Catholic Church, like during the Reformation, I mean, if you look into Ignatius Loyola and the founding of the Jesuits, like I mean, the Counter-Reformation was kind of launched by the Catholic Church because the actual Reformation started destroying Catholicism so quickly. It spread like wildfire across the whole of the world. And the Catholic Church, to fight back, basically tried to maintain control of the education systems. And in order to maintain control of the education systems, they got into like science, like maths. I mean, you look into the foundation of every single scientific I forgot what you call them now. Scientific areas, like chemistry, physics, maths. I mean, there are a lot of Jesuits involved, and the Catholic Church was heavily involved. And a lot of the astronomy, I mean, even the Big Bang came from George Lamarck, who was a Jesuit. Mendel, who invented genetics, was a Catholic monk. So I mean, there's like, these two things of religion and science are inseparable, despite the fact that people want to kind of pull them apart.
Yeah, I find yourself refreshingly open-minded, considering you've been through the system yourself.
Well, it's really nice to meet people who are actually out doing something.
Yeah, and what's your name?
Andy.
Andy.
Yeah.
We will certainly visit those steps.
Well, like I say, you got to go. I mean, that is one of the best places, I think, because I always kind of thought, when I first looked into it and I saw the coastline, I thought, people who live inland, I would find it very hard to be able to, unless I've been able to see something like that with my own eyes and be able to check out the measurements on, because you can actually check out the height of the cliffs on the Ordnance Surveys.
Yes.
So you can see that you've got comparative heights here. I've got a cliff here that's 200 metres high and a cliff here that's 200 metres high.
But just you seeing the Inner Hebrides, that's a very basic observation for people to say, break it out of the programming. Look, it's flat.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Outer Hebrides should be 60, I think I measured 600 feet below the horizon. I should not be able to see it from the north coast of Northern Ireland.
And, as an adult with critical thinking now, I'm thinking, water flowing around the ball, come on, why did I buy that? But then, of course, I believe in Santa Claus.
I'm sure you can remember sort of struggling with it when you were a child. So that's why I'd say, but you shouldn't underestimate how much kids think.
Exactly, but then I feel that's suppressed out of us by, I'll be quiet, gravity, there you go. Oh, okay then.
Oh no,
so we stop believing in
is.
our own senses and our own critical thinking.
Right. I mean, I do think that there's going to be a bit of a kickback about this stuff as well, because it just destroys. I mean, I think this thing is a double-edged sword. I think it's been a very clever. I mean, I do think that it is the Catholic Church behind it.
Well, on the back there, we've got some more. We got that's our website, leading to a lot of other interesting websites and.
Right. Well, it was real nice talking to you, man.
You too. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Thank you.
I'll check out your travels on
YouTube.
Fantastic!
Yeah, this is the first today, so it's 56 places in 8 weeks we're going to.
Yeah.
So.
Well, good luck.
Well, thank you very much, man.
Good work.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Where are you stuck at? Or is it just kind of gut feeling? You kind of just hold on to it? I mean, that's easily oh, sorry, you sound like 100%.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah. Have you heard of it before?
No. I'm just wondering why people would lie to us, really.
Do you think your government lies to you?
I don't know. I hadn't, it's the first I've heard of it, really.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, there's plenty of instances where the government has been lying to us, but NASA is an extension of the government. So, if I put it to you that you don't live on a ball, you live on a flat plane, and there's further land out there that's been kept from us, but we're told the space is out there, but it's not. I mean, all your senses now are telling you that you're not spinning faster than a speeding bullet, but they're telling you you're spinning 1,000 miles an hour.
I must admit, when I'd heard first heard it was spinning, I just think it was a bit odd.
Yes.
But don't always know for certain, because a lot of us aren't don't know an awful lot about this sort of scientific stuff.
Because we can't go to space, can we, ourselves? So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you sort of kind of to an extent rely on the experts, or so-called experts.
So-called, yes. So, but how can we, when they tell you they find a planet millions of light years ahead, how can we verify that? How can we even challenge that? They could tell us Mickey Mouse is out there, and we'd have to accept that as being true.
Yeah, sure.
But you know, when you were 5 years old and you believed in Santa Claus and Tooth Fairy, they told you lived on a ball with water on it. But you know, how can water conform to the exterior of a ball? It's ridiculous. As an adult with critical thinking, how on earth could that happen? You watch the behaviour of water, it always finds its own level.
Yeah.
It cannot conform to the exterior of shapes. And then they say the word gravity, but then that's never been proven. That's just a theory. That's why it's called the theory of gravity. So we got a guy over there in a check shirt right at the end, Robert Simon, who produces all these blue marble shots of Earth, and he says they're not photographs, they're photoshopped.
Ah, right.
There are no real photographs of Earth in space, they're all photoshopped.
Alright, you carry on. Okay.
But we believed all that when we were 5 years old, and we never questioned it.
Yeah.
And now as adults with critical thinking, I go, well, what's the evidence? What's the proof for this? What, CGI images and cartoons?
Are you okay with this?
I guess that leads you to sort of believe that they're covering something up,
Yeah.
really.
Well, I suspect it's further land. It's, you know, people believe they're in a spinning ball with space out there, but there's no proof that anyone's been to space.
Yeah.
Also, do you watch any of the soaps on television?
Yes, I do.
Right, well, on a spacewalk or on the moon, nobody's taken a camera and turned 360, ever. Coronation Street can't do that either, because you see all the directors, the actors and the stage props. So when they're on the moon, they never did that. That's the first thing you would do if you went to the moon. You go, oh wow, look at that. But they never did it. There's no footage of that. So I'm just putting to you that this is all lies. We don't live in a spinning ball.
Okay, how has this been found out? How have you found out about it?
Yeah, well,
Exactly.
over here is the Earth's curvature chart.
We don't believe
It tells you how much of a drop there is in curvature over, say, 10 miles. Now, if you can see objects or land over that distance, according to the chart, you shouldn't see them because they should be down below the curvature.
So, who managed to get hold of that sort of information?
Yeah, you can just go online and,
Oh, we
and
can
put.
find that, and that's actually solid information.
Well, that's what's presented to us as official figures. That's not like our figures.
Right.
You got 7 miles. You should have 32 feet of a drop over 7 miles.
Yeah, but it makes you wonder which, you know, what you can actually believe, really.
Yeah, well,
You know, if we have been told these lies, and do you see what I mean? You can sort of be told more or less anything.
that's why you.
You've got to tell what's the truth now,
Yeah.
then, isn't it?
I think that's why you have to trust your senses and your own eyes. You can see ships on the horizon that are supposed to go over the curvature, but you zoom in with a zoom camera and you see the whole of the boat. So it's not going down over any curvature. And then you can see objects and land 275 miles away, well, photograph, and you shouldn't be able to see any of that. So there's many proofs, and there as well you've got amateur balloons going up to 21 miles high and showing a complete flat horizon all round. But yet NASA used fisheye lenses which curve the horizon. I mean, see the height, it's completely flat.
Let me enlighten you.
And I'd ask you, how can an aeroplane fly around the ball?
Well,
A
yeah.
passenger aeroplane?
Yeah.
Taking your seatbelts off? It's ridiculous. But we bought that when we were really young. And if an aeroplane was flying level on a ball, it would eventually fly into space. Would it not?
Yeah.
I mean, that's common sense and logic. We're on a UK tour at the moment, but we go through so many cities. That's my card.
Okay.
You can see the video on there. And on the back is our website with many other information about flat Earth. This is probably one of the biggest things on the internet right now, the subject matter.
I'll show it to my daughter. She'd probably be quite interested. She's 11.
All right.
She's got a very inquiring mind about things. She's very bright and it's obviously she'll be fascinated.
Oh, fantastic. Brilliant. Well, it's very nice talking to you. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
We do see rockets go up, and then when you watch a video from
Could I join your conversation?
It's the fact that it makes more sense, and
What makes more sense?
flat Earth makes sense when you actually look at all the bloody evidence.
Well done, sir.
It makes sense.
Well done.
If the Earth is flat, surely there's an end to it.
Well, why should there be an end?
Yeah, but surely if the Earth is flat, sorry, I'm getting a bit too passionate.
Oh, good. I like passion. No, Tara.
There's going to be an end to it if it's flat.
Yeah, but when they tell you space is infinite, do you question that being?
Yeah, but Earth
An edge.
isn't infinite.
But how do you know? How do you know it's not infinite?
Because people have travelled all the way around the world.
No.
Someone's travelled from one place.
Sources, it's usually bollocks.
Someone's travelled from one place and gone all the way around the world.
Okay, say that you're all the continents of the Earth, you three girls. I can walk around you now and come back where I started. Now I've circumnavigated you, but I'm on a flat plane. I can go around the world on a flat plane.
But then you can also go around other ways, can't you?
No,
and the other way, and that.
Sorry, I'm trying to get one at a time. Nobody's ever circumnavigated the Earth between north and south. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, which is fair enough.
One person's claiming to without evidence, but so nobody's circumnavigating north to south. So you have to ask critical thinking. You have to ask, well, why not? Because it's a flat plane. They only circumnavigate around the continents. Planes don't fly in a straight line.
Well, maybe it's just because there's no point in it. No one's going from Antarctica to I don't know geography well, but either way, no one's doing that. There's just no reason to do it. Well, I guess there could.
Adventure, spirit of adventure.
Yeah, I
being the first to do it.
I suppose, but it's just not right.
But you
How
can
do you explain like the fact that people have actually just seen the Earth?
sorry.
How do you explain the fact that astronauts and people have actually just seen the Earth is round? Seen that all the other planets are round, and if all the other planets are round, and you say that all the other planets orbit around us, then why are we the one that's still, and why are we the one that's flat and not round?
But that's word of mouth, isn't it?
But it's not word of mouth.
Yeah,
It
but
says
then
video
what
and
you're doing
footage.
also is word of mouth. Like everything's word of mouth.
I love your passion, girls, but I've got to ask you one at a time.
Yeah.
We have a guy there on the boards called Robert Simon, who produces your blue marble shots of Earth, and he admits they're not photographs, they're Photoshop.
That's one person.
Well, he produces them for NASA.
Yeah, but that's one person. If he produces them pictures from NASA, like.
So why would he be lying about it then?
But
you
it's
could
not
say that
just
about
it's
everything
not
that you're
just him,
saying,
is
like,
it?
why
There
would
are
you-
thousands and thousands.
Are you
of people
two
that work-
stereo by any chance? No.
Like there are thousands of people that work for NASA, and he's just one guy. And
Yeah.
he's on Taunton High Street campaigning that the world is flat. Like he's obviously
Yeah.
going to say that it's an image put together, isn't it?
Well, it is. They say that on their website. It's an image. They don't say photographs.
There are so many people that have seen that with their own eyes.
Who's seen it?
Like loads of astronauts have been
Just
up on
astronauts?
spaceships who have been.
Now, do you know that they're all?
You can see when you're up in a plane at a certain height that the world has a certain curve.
No, you can't.
You can. You can if you go far enough up in a plane.
Okay.
You can see that.
But
the Earth
I've been
has
up
a curve.
in planes. I fly my own paragliders. I've never seen a curve. Pilots will tell you they've never seen a curve of the
The
Earth.
reason why that is because it's too
But
far.
you
It's
just
too
claimed you've
far
seen
to-
it though.
Yeah, I think you do. The reason why
But
you
pilots
can't
claim
go-
they've never seen it. So how have you seen it?
Let me speak.
The reason why you can't see it is because it's way too far, and the horizon is how many kilometres?
It's
Like 500,000 kilometres.
But Earth's only 24,000 miles circumference. We have to start seeing evidence of a curvature somewhere. If you look at official figures, it curves 8 inches per mile
Your
squared.
vision can't see it.
No,
Human vision
no.
isn't capable of seeing something.
But we have
that far
telescopes
away.
and zoom cameras that see objects that we shouldn't be seeing 270 miles away. It should be below the curvature, but they're not. That proves that we're not on a curve, we're on a flat stationary plane.
Then how can you
people,
prove those images are true?
People constantly.
No, I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at that myself. I can see land that far away.
Yeah,
But I shouldn't be
I
able
just
to.
think that people constantly want to be right and people want to constantly prove
Yeah.
people wrong and people
Well-
feel threatened. And this whole thing is just feeling threatened by people who you think are in charge and people who work for NASA. And it's not like,
But you're not assuming an awful lot about me when you don't know who I am or
no, I
nothing
do,
about
but
me.
I do, but like also, but a lot of things that are just you're just trying to disprove what you think is.
No, I know for
Everyone
I know
thinks
for a
it's
fact
right, but there's no point.
I know for a fact we're in a flat plane, and you've all been lied to at school about where you live.
But
So-
you don't
can't
know that for a fact.
How
I
do
do
you
know that for a fact.
Because I could say I know the world is round for a fact.
Well, I feel you're not really
It's-
listening to me, but I can prove
Go
we're on
then,
a flat.
Prove it to me right now that
We
the
look.
world is flat.
Okay, we look at water. We look at the behaviour of water. It always drops to its lowest point and finds its own level. Water is
No, it
always
doesn't,
level.
because water's got a meniscus in it.
It has in a glass or a teardrop, but
Yeah.
on a large body of water, it always finds its level.
Well, that's just because of how gravity works.
What's gravity working with that?
The gravitational pull of the Earth, that's how gravity works.
Okay, but how do you know that exists? The gravitational pull of the Earth.
How do you know it doesn't?
Oh, girls, you got to ask one question without 20 questions. Well, I won't float away anywhere because the molecules of this body is heavier than the molecules of the air, so I'm not going to float anywhere. If I'm a helium balloon, I'll float up because I'm lighter than the molecules of the atmosphere. But you're not going to float anywhere. You don't have to talk about gravity. It's buoyancy and density that keeps you to the ground.
Same with water.
If the world's flat, what's underneath it?
I don't know. Is there an underneath?
Oh, right. Is it?
There's not an underneath. It can't be flat.
I don't know.
How
Well,
do
it was
you
one big
explain-
solid that went on forever,
how do you
infinite.
explain like volcanoes and all the stuff that comes from up underneath.
Yeah, and tectonic plates and things like that.
Well, they're going about tectonic plates, but that's second-hand information. I can't verify. Do you know the deepest? Do you know the deepest depth they've ever drilled?
No.
8 miles.
But
So how do they
even
know?
then,
How do they know about all these tectonic plates?
Because it's been like proven the way that it works, volcanoes, and people have dug and seen the tectonic plates and the way that it works.
Yeah, but it's still second-hand information, is it not?
But there are a lot of clever people out there who don't work to kind of like deceive us and lie
Okay.
to us. They work to tell us and find us
do
out
clever
things.
people ever tell lies?
Yeah, obviously,
Right.
but I think that if you're...
So why do you trust them so?
I don't think scientists are the same as the government. It's not,
Why
it's
not?
not a political party, which science party you believe in. Scientists are a different thing.
But they may be
Scientists work.
paid for.
Scientists are passionate and work to find out things, and it's not just scientists who are paid to do this and tell us this. It's everyone.
Yeah, and by that same logic, like, how do we know that your second-hand information is just?
I wouldn't expect you to believe
second-hand
anything I'm saying.
Oh,
you,
no,
you-
yeah,
you
but-
go and question and find out for yourself and do some research.
Yeah.
And you find out so much information there that's contradictory to what you've been told at school.
Mm-hmm.
When you believed in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy, they took you into school and told you live in this ball with water around it. And you believed it without question. All your life without looking into that.
As our brains develop, we learn how to make our own opinions on things, and I think
Yeah, because
Well-
I think the whole thing is just opinions.
you
You
learn.
can't like.
You learn about when people used to think that the world was flat and the whole revolution of it changing, and and they weren't scared. Like obviously were scared to change the common belief then, but it still happened. Like if this was valid in any way in the brains of people who.
Okay, you're saying
research.
opinions. I'm saying it's opinion. You think that planes can fly around the ball upside down.
But
How can a
it's not-
passenger plane?
It's not upside down, it's gravity.
But if you don't mind me saying, I don't wish to insult you because I was where you were. Is that not a programmed response? Gravity. Because you can't prove that.
It has been proven.
Where's it been proven?
It's been proven by just general physics.
No, it hasn't. The theory of gravity, the theory of gravity which holds oceans to a ball has never been proven. That's why it's called the theory of gravity. There's people like us who've been researching this for 4 years. There's learned people who now know.
Researching this for
No,
hundreds.
there's learned people now who know they don't live in a ball. There's no proof that we live in a ball. Tara.
But there's no proof of anything in science. Everything is a theory.
Yeah. So
And you could say that about anything. And like that's just the way that the world works.
Do you think there's
Like,
self-evident
to say
truth?
you are being lied to, it's your theory.
No, it's
Like,
not a
you
theory.
can't- But it is,
No, it's
it is
not a theory.
Every single thing
Nobody's
that we believe.
nobody's
is a theory.
circumnavigated the north to south, so that is a lie. If
No one
someone's
has
claiming
also
that.
travelled like south and gone under the world and found it to be flat. That's right. No one has seen
I'm not
the
making
world
that claim,
to be
though.
flat.
I'm not making that
No,
claim.
but you are making the claim that it's a fact.
Yes, I am. Yes.
But you can't have a fact without
don't have the
solid
evidence.
proof that has never been disproven.
But I'm not making that claim. I'm just making the claim we live in a stationary plane. We're not moving. All your senses, if you listen to your senses right now, they're telling you you're not spinning. But the authorities will tell you you're spinning faster than a speeding bullet, and you're supposed to believe that.
They don't tell you that. They don't tell you that you're moving.
Well, we're
faster.
moving 1,000 miles an hour at the equator.
Yeah, but
That's five-
because
that's
of the
faster than
amount
speeding.
of like volume that the Earth is us standing in the Earth.
I think maybe you have to take into account size and the fact that if it's a large area that's moving quickly, that things on it don't feel that. As how are you meant to notice? Because if you've been living that way your whole life, how are you going to notice these? How are you going to notice that you're going however many miles an hour you're going? Yeah.
I don't buy it.
Do you think water can conform to the exterior of a ball?
We were saying
Could the lady answer that?
Than I do.
No, do you
Studied science.
do you think water can conform to the exterior of a ball?
Well, if it's turning,
Water on a ball?
well, I don't know.
No, exactly. We were told that, and we just believe it without any evidence.
Where is it?
Okay, could you recite me the evidence, please?
Scientific evidence.
But could you? The whole evidence is that, though.
For the intellectual conversation.
Thank you, ladies.
So when they're going sideways, I mean,
No, that's trajectory.
so when they
Bernoulli flow.
right, okay.
It's like that's Bernoulli flow. So like the angle of the rings in the air.
My YouTube channel.
I know you may have learned that somewhere, but what about what about the guys who do the spacewalks on the what are they pushing against when they move
Well,
around?
actually, if like the space guy, if he like goes up, momentum makes it move.
Would you mind if I asked you what your response to that is?
What's the end? What's the all of what they're getting at?
Well, we're questioning the validity of us living on a ball. Do you think you live in a spinning ball?
So he's not moving.
Well, when you get fed,
Yeah, absolutely.
spinning around at 2,000 miles an hour, whatever it is.
Well, it's actually 1,000 miles an hour we're supposed to be spinning, but all our senses are telling us we're not spinning.
I've been searching for quite a while, and
Now, as I was telling the ladies there that around 5 years old, when we believed in Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus, they brought you into the classroom and said, you live in that spinning ball with water on it. And we never question that again, do we?
But what's the end argument? What is it just because you want to prove that you've been lied to? Or
Yeah, well...
was it for global warming or what's it about?
No. We live in a flat level plane. But people are trying to tell us we live in a spinning ball with water going around us.
Yeah.
It's impossible. How can water conform to the exterior of a ball?
So you just want to prove that you've been lied to, basically?
Yeah.
No, there's loads, they're all doing that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Right, cheers.
we're just saying that because we've grown up, like at the age of 5 years of age, you've been given this globe. At the same time, when you started believing in Santa Claus and Tooth Fairy and things, and then all of a sudden, you believe in this globe. But where's this proof? Where's this evidence? And then later on in life and all that, and you give away your Santa Claus beliefs and that, but you hold on to the beliefs of a globe. But again, I ask you, where can we find this proof?
There is an awful lot of evidence, but I don't also see a lot of evidence for this. I don't think you can.
Okay, can I show you one bit of evidence? It's on the back of that. This is spherical trigonometry. Okay, it's based on Pythagorean's theorem. Okay, and so there has to be a calculation for the Earth's drop. You would agree with that?
Well, that Pythagoras' theorem only really applies in
spherical trigonometry does reply to that, and you can check that online. So it's 8 inches per squared mile. It drops. Okay, so at 8 inches per squared mile, this is the person who took this for the Blackpool Gazette. And that, he was stood on the promenade, and he took this picture, and you can see the Isle of Man. That's 65 miles away, but based on this curvature chart, it's meant to be hidden by 2,500 feet. Okay, the highest mountain is 2,000 feet. Why can we see these mountains and objects, and even lighthouses not? Why can we see them over these large distances? We shouldn't be able to see them. They're over the drop. They're hidden. That one there is 273 miles longest distance photo. It should be 3 miles. I mean, can you imagine how big 3 miles high is? And now all of that should be hidden below the curvature. So I think
that these are like averages of like how the Earth curves.
Well,
I think that because the Earth is actually
okay.
not,
Let's say it's an average of 2 miles then.
No, but I mean like the average. So like that's assuming that like that
Everywhere
is the same elevation.
Whereas it goes like
All I'm saying is that could that be enough for you to go to a website and just research further?
I mean,
I think we'll probably discuss it on the way
we'll
home.
probably discuss it.
Oh, that's brilliant. And discuss it with a few people. But there's a couple of websites there.
I think, to be honest, discussion's good. I guess I'm just concerned about your motives, like as to like
just to watch a video.
why? Like,
Is it like monetized?
Is it an anti-government thing? Like, if the government's lying to us about this, is there
Well, there you go. I mean, like, do you believe in the moon
What's
landings?
well, yeah,
You do. So okay.
what else is going on?
So on the moon landing, can you tell me?
asked you what your motive
Oh yeah, I'm getting there.
Well, yeah, that's more.
I mean, one of the motives is like maybe NASA. They get £53 million per day. Okay, NASA is.
So you're concerned.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, like, do you not think that's if this is all a lie, that's a criminal act? I mean, all the people that are starving and hungry around the world. Do you think that would be a criminal act?
So by the fact that it does work, it proves it's a globe.
It doesn't.
How does it work?
Well, that was this chap's argument. I'm not
You
saying
know what?
that,
I
so
haven't
I'm
even
not-
finished my argument. I've been cut off at every.
Oh, Jason.
So as I was said, I mean, like we do not sail in a straight line. I
No.
don't know where you got that from, but like, what's it? If this happens to be west, okay, or east, wherever it was, then I'm pointing west at all times. I'm still pointing west, so therefore we're not going in these straight lines. We're always doing this slight curvature, as that gentleman said, but he didn't let me finish.
Yes.
And you sail around the continents, you don't go in a straight line.
No one goes in a straight line. We sail around the continents.
Well, if you're sailing, you can't go in a straight line because of the land mass.
Yeah. But aeroplanes don't fly straight either.
Well, they
Yeah, I
tend
was
to.
thinking that.
Beg your pardon?
I was thinking that. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And did you know nobody's ever circumnavigated the globe between north and south?
What, sorry?
Nobody's circumnavigated the globe between north and south.
Oh.
Just.
I mean, I don't really know much. I'm just here because it sounds interesting. I don't really.
So do you think you live on a ball of
I
water?
don't really know enough. Like,
Oh,
I'd
right.
assume so, but that's what because you've been taught that.
Yeah.
But like, I don't really know enough to say. I've just been taught that my entire life. So.
And would you be willing to question what you were told? What you were told about living on a
Yeah,
ball?
if someone was telling me stuff, and I'd listen and. Like,
If there was
yeah,
a fall off.
or no, if like, depending on what I could think of it,
Yeah.
make a judgment.
Well, if I could say that both you and I went to school very young when we believed in Santa Claus and
Yeah,
Tooth Fairy,
exactly. Yeah.
and then they told you lived in this ball of water around it. Did you
Yeah.
question that?
No, because you're young and you're a kid and you just
Impressionable, gullible.
Yeah.
We believe in authority. We believe in our parents. So I'm embarrassed to say that I lived most of my life never really questioning that.
Yeah.
I find it strange, but I just thought there must be right.
Yeah,
That
it's
must
not
be-
really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a kid, like.
Oh,
just don't
yeah.
really-
Well, see, I'd go so far as to say that's brainwashing. When they can't prove it, they can't prove it. There's no actual proof you live in a ball of water going around it. Now, as an adult with critical thinking, I would ask you, how can water conform to the exterior of a ball?
God, I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know enough. Like, I don't really know.
No,
I'm
I think
not very
that's a,
educated,
that's, a, good- but that's a good and honest answer. I don't know, how on earth can it? But then they'll come up with this magical word, gravity, which has never been proven. Now, science should be demonstrable, repeatable and measurable, but they cannot reproduce a working model of a ball of water on it. It's all a belief. That's all we had.
Is there like proof for? Wait, what is this theory? Is this Earth is flat theory, or is
Well-
it just Earth is not a ball?
Yes, it's not a
Is
theory.
the-
It is factual. It's your natural observations. Like they give us the figures of the curvature of the Earth. Yeah. But if we go by those figures, we can see objects in the distance that we shouldn't be able to see. They should be 2 miles below the curvature. But they're not. You can see them islands far away. You shouldn't be able to see that. The longest photograph ever taken is 270 miles, and you can see the land base.
How far is that, like from here to?
Sorry?
How far is that, like in an actual geographical distance, like from here to? I can't visualise 270
No,
miles.
neither can I actually. Well, if you go across the Isle of Man, what's that? About 60 miles? I don't know. About 12 times the distance of the English Channel. You know, just and we should be seeing any of that, but we can clearly see it. Or like across Lake Michigan, it's 60 miles, and the city of Chicago, you can see it. You should be able to see that. But you can go and see things, you know, when people think a boat goes over the horizon, or over the curvature, you can just zoom in with a zoom camera and you can see the whole of that boat, proving it's not going over any curvature, it's just going out of your line of perspective. So it gets smaller and smaller. And the fact that water cannot conform to exterior shapes, it's impossible. When we look at the behaviour of water, it always drops to its lowest level and lies flat. That's why we have a spirit level, the water's level, showing its level. To believe that it can exist on a ball is just ridiculous. But that's how we've been brainwashed. And when I say that to a lot of people, they'll go, gravity. But that's a programmed response, because they can't prove it.
I don't know, I thought gravity was proven with the ball thing, like dropping a ball and then dropping a feather or something.
Well, they do that in a vacuum.
Okay, I mean, yes.
Yeah, but we don't live in a vacuum.
Yeah.
You know, we live in an atmosphere. And if I drop something here, you know, people say, see, gravity. But there's no proof there's a force pulling that down. Where buoyancy and density explains why things drop. The molecules of this camera are heavier in atmosphere, so it's going to drop. A helium balloon is lighter, so it's going to rise. That was around before the theory of gravity. So, and there's no reason for you to float away in the air, because the molecules of your body is heavier in the atmosphere. And people say, oh, gravity is holding you down. I say, no, nothing needs to hold me down. The density of my body is enough. You know? No reason for me to float away. If I did, we could fly then, you know, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous arguments. But this is probably one of the biggest things, especially on YouTube at the moment. There are millions of YouTube channels dedicated to this.
Okay.
Because so many people are waking up and realising they've been lied to, and all they had was a belief.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks very much for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And some people believe in evolution and you know, like about creationism and things. You know, like, so a lot of people are religious and they form an opinion based on we're on a planet globe. But if we are on a flat Earth and it was designed and it is, we do have creator or create. Are we being? Is this all that's being hidden from us? You know, like, is God being hidden from us? I'm not religious. I'm an agnostic, by the way. I'm just putting that out there because quite a lot of flat earthers, they are religious and they believe that.
Yes, because
they believe that hiding God.
When the theories changed from being flat to being a globe, it was religion that was trying to prevent that theory being put forward, wasn't it? Because the original sort of religious view was, of course,
we know that
sun and moon going around us and not us going around that.
All we're trying to do here today is just get you to question it, because you believe that you lived on the globe probably at the age of 5, 7 million or something, and then you kind of go through your life and that's not questioned that, and most of us don't. And then later on in life you start seeing films about it, and TV about Earth, and pictures of space and rockets and all that, but we've never actually seen a proper photograph of the Earth. You think you have, but like if you believe these photographs, then you have to believe. There's a prime example in there. You have to believe in NASA's official 2012 photograph of Earth and 2013. Go on to NASA's. I thought they were kidding, so I went onto NASA's website and I seen it for myself. That's South America. So that's America. Now, I know you've got the same eyes as me and think that there's a problem there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's clearly what they've done there. It's a closer picture, but they've cropped off the outside, don't they?
No, I never did that thought. So they could crop a circle round
so
it.
If we're taking
but
a
why?
picture
It just seems ridiculous.
Yeah.
So all we're saying is that don't believe anything that I'm saying. We're just saying, is it? Can we offer enough information for people to just question it again themselves? Because,
but it's the why. If so many evidence and a certain amount of effort is misleading people or putting forward a certain view that it is, and to do that like effort, there must be a reason. So what is the reason?
Well, again, until we get, I mean, I can show just a few of them ideas there, because the theory is what I'm doing, what they're too big. Well, when I can see land that I shouldn't be able to see, that bit's not a theory. I mean, like, I shouldn't be seeing these long distance lands. Well, that's not a theory.
But then you can see if you get, when you're in a 30,000 feet in an aircraft.
Yeah, you can see the curvature. So all amateur footage and all that, and if you speak to quite a lot of pilots and all that, and there's lots of evidence of flat earthers, speaking to pilots, and they're telling you it's flat. You know, and you can watch them YouTube videos. They're on there. I'll keep there.
Watch all sorts of things on YouTube.
Well, there you go. But look, nice talking to you. Yeah. Research it. You alright, buddy?
Alright.
I think we're
I knew you were yes, I came down and just to see what was going on and stuff. I'm just in Cornwall. So I live in Newcastle, so on the way up, I thought I'd stop off.
Oh, well done.
Stop off and meet you.
Excellent. Are you sort of known to a lot of flat earthers online?
Well, I watch Roxanne and all that, so and I use like Harry and stuff, and we are.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
Pleased to meet you.
Yes. Oh, that's brilliant. That's really good. That's hopeful. We're hoping
Where do you stay?
I've just been at Cornwall, Newquay.
Right.
And I live in Newcastle, so on
fantastic.
I think we're popping into Newcastle.
Yes, check it out.
Can we see you again in Newcastle when we get there?
That's I've looked at all the list at where you're going to be, and I'll come and meet you at Newcastle.
Oh, fantastic, man.
And
Will you give us a hand then?
Of course I would. Of course I would.
Oh, brilliant.
I try and do it all the time, but you know what people are like.
Yeah.
Like I'm just down Newquay there with my friends, and they won't have any of it. They do not want to talk about it, and I'm just like, really, you know, like.
Sometimes friends and family are the worst to
I have lost a couple of friends, as other people have as well. I've found out.
Well, I lost a few, but they're slowly coming back.
In a way, yeah. But come on, you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying. Well, I don't thrust it in their face no more.
Yeah.
I just let them come to me.
No. Like if anybody wants to ask me about it, I don't mind. I don't mind at all. But oh man, there's a lot of people who just.
If you want to say hello to Roxanne now, she'll be watching. You watch her channel.
Yeah. She's watching live now, more than likely.
Oh, live. That's sweet.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Fantastic.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, man.
So when are you going back up the road?
I'll be heading off soon. I just thought I'd find you here.
Yeah,
and
thanks,
stop
man.
off and
Yeah.
have a good chat.
Is it Mark? Is it?
Sorry?
What's your name?
Travis.
Oh, Travis.
Yeah,
Travis.
yeah.
Right,
I've spoken to her a couple of times on your YouTube thing.
What was your YouTube name?
It was my name before, but now it's Flat Earth Trav.
Oh, right.
Before it was just Travis and then my last name.
Fantastic.
But yeah.
Great to meet you, man.
Oh yeah, you too.
I see you got the Flat Earth 101 shirt as well.
From the website.
Oh,
yes.
brilliant. Don't be chuffed because we speak to them about
you know the little cards as well. I've got a bunch of them and I try and hand them out as much as I can. And if they want to listen, they want to listen. But you know,
it's a good it's a conversation provoker, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, that's what it is.
Yeah. And actually as well, I was when I was in Newquay yesterday. Well, I left this morning, but yesterday I met another flat earther, and I was just sitting in a pub, and he just came up to us, and he just randomly came up to us and said, "Do you know the Earth is flat?" I said, "Of course I do." And then we both started talking and things like that. Oh, honestly, man,
fantastic, man.
First time ever. So
it's getting contagious, I think.
It is. It's definitely grown. And I had to come here and see all this because I've been wanting. I watch your videos every day, all the time. So it's cool.
We're just trying to encourage more people to get out there and do it. You know, just if everybody was doing that, man, this would be.
You just got to question it, man.
Yeah.
You know, but people just don't. Like.
That's how well brainwashing works, I think. You know.
It is. It is. Like I've tried to explain to people how you've been brainwashed, and they're so brainwashed they don't understand it.
They get defensive.
Yeah, very. Like my mate who I was just with there, he started getting angry with us, and I was like, right, okay, I'll stop. But it shouldn't have to be like that. What's wrong with the conversation?
I know.
People don't want to do it.
If a religious cult goes up and talking to them, they don't get angry, do they? No. But they get angry when you talk about it.
Exactly. Like one of my mates, a few of them actually, they know about 9/11, the moon missions, and all of the deception and the government and the lies. As soon as you bring up this, nah. Don't want to know about it. It's you know, like it's.
And then they'll probably tell you they're open-minded.
Yes, and they're not. They're far from it.
How open-minded are you? 10, right. Do you think Earth made flat? Oh, don't be stupid.
Yeah.
Don't, rubbish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh man, but yeah. Have you got any like little leaflets I can take with us and stuff?
Sure, man.
Because I have no idea where to get them from. Oh, right, cheers, thank you.
If you don't mind giving out a few cards, that'd be great. If you want.
No.
Just leave them somewhere.
Oh yeah, of course. I've got a bunch in my car, and every now and then I flick them out the window, and, like, so people pick them up on the street.
Thanks very much.
All right. Oh, cheers. Thank you.
We've got a website on the back there now. It's FE Start. It's where
I think I've checked it out.
Yeah.
I have.
Good.
I've been on it. But,
you can download them as well. They're on there as a PDF.
Oh, can you?
Right,
Oh, right. Yeah, definitely. I'll do that.
And then just come back the same way, then.
But so have you had any angry people so far? Or?
Not today, no. Not angry, no. But a few very close to this idea of it. Yeah. But we've met about 3 flat earthers.
Oh, really?
One is a teacher.
Hi.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, at least open to it, you know.
Need to get some. No, I have one question. If
Sure.
the Earth is flat, what shape is it?
Well, I've never been that far to know what shape it is.
What shape do you think it is?
I haven't got a clue. I try not to theorise. I try to stay with what I know.
Yeah.
That I know I live in a flat level plane, and we're not moving, we're not spinning.
How flat do you think? How thick do you think it is?
Well,
What's underneath?
Well, do you know how? No, good question. I don't know what's underneath, but do you know the deepest people have drilled?
No, I don't.
8 miles.
Okay.
So it must be at least 8 miles. Other than that, I don't know.
Do you think it's square?
Well,
rectangular.
I don't know. I think the Bible has mentioned square flat Earth.
Yeah. So is this linked with religion then, or is it?
No, I'm not religious. I'm not into science. Well, I'm into natural science, but I'm not into traditional science or religion. I was told to choose between creation or evolution, and none of them really did it for me. I didn't believe it. There wasn't much proof for either. So, all my life I never really bought any of the two.
So you're a flat Earth scientist now?
Oh, that's a nice term, yeah. So, yeah. This gentleman, yeah.
You're a flat earther as well.
Just doing how
Just
you're
met him
asking
today.
about like the
Yeah.
shape and the stuff. Just picture that in a way.
So do you think it looks like that on your t-shirt?
It might not be correct, but it's very, you know, like that. If you put the pieces together, that's what it may look like.
Yeah.
But still, nobody knows.
Do you think that shape is more believable than the shape that we
because
we know?
water lies flat. You can't bend water. You think about the water. Water's always flat.
It's like the Truman Show, isn't
Exactly.
it? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're halfway there.
But see, you're an adult now. When they told you believed in a ball, it's the same time as you believe in Santa Claus and Tooth Fairy.
Yeah.
But now I'm asking you, as an adult with critical thinking,
Yeah.
how can water conform to the exterior of a ball?
Gravity.
Now, may I ask you if that was a program response, or do you really know that?
I'm an engineer, so.
But okay, did you know that gravity that holds water to balls has never been proven?
Right.
And that's why it's called the theory.
It can't be on a small scale.
No, not a small scale. I'm sure you've been
And on a big scale.
Well,
if you believe in a rounded, spherical Earth.
yeah, but being an engineer, I'm sure you'll agree that science should be demonstrable, repeatable, and measurable. So science cannot reproduce the working model of a ball with water going around it.
Maybe not on a small scale.
Well, did you know about the Cavendish experiment, where Henry Cavendish in the 18th century measured the gravitational constant with hanging two balls? So that's a small scale. That's gravity measured on a small scale. But of course, they never repeated that experiment ever. We're supposed to believe one man's testimony in a barn in the 18th century that he measured the gravitational constant. But that type of gravity that holds water to balls has never been proven.
I'm not arguing with you about flat Earth. I'm just curious to know.
Do you think there's any possibility that what you believe about the heliocentric model might not be true?
I am completely open.
Oh, good. That's music to my ears. I'm not asking you to believe anything I'm saying, but the fact that you're saying you're open-minded.
I think the concept is interesting. What you've done today is interesting.
Oh well, as long as we've got your interest, that's good. And that's why we have such provocative titles to get people to engage with us, whether negatively or positively. But I would put it to you and everybody else, as I had to be honest with myself, say everything I know about the heliocentric model is a belief. I believed what I was told at 5 years old.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, there's no primary observations, there's no first-hand experience. I just believe in people what they tell me. And now, at the grand old age of 25, I'm starting to question what I've been told.
Fair enough, good on you.
And asking for proof, which can't be provided. So, and if you listen to airline pilots, they'll tell you, the ones that will speak out, they've never seen any curvature.
I've seen curvature.
Now.
Right, okay, no, we're not.
No.
I'm done.
I don't wish to fall out with you, but I ask people, have you got any proof of that you've seen curvature? Did you take a photograph?
I'm not discussing this today.
Now, if I told you I was swimming with the Loch Ness Monster last week, would you believe me? So why would I believe you if you said you'd seen the curvature when I've flown for many years and my own paragliders and I've never seen any curvature?
I'm not up for an argument.
No.
I'm really not.
I don't want to argue either. But everybody who claims to see the curvature, I say to them, and I say, can you evidence that?
Well, I don't
when
know.
you go to the beach.
Oh, I meant like on a plane, and like, well, I don't know, maybe like on a beach where you can just see the horizon for like 30 there, and there's no land, like you can kind of see it, but I don't know. You just persuade yourself.
But then it should be curving at the ends. It doesn't.
No, it's only like really slight. It's not just like.
But there should be a huge curve on it. If you can see a landmass stretching 60 miles in the distance, it should be huge curvature at either end.
That would.
The longest photograph ever taken was 275 miles with distant land, but that land should be 2.5 miles below the curvature. So we can prove it's a flat Earth by seeing distant objects and distant land, which contradicts the figures that we're told for the curvature of the Earth. It's 8 inches per mile squared, the curvature. So we should see evidence of curvature everywhere. You shouldn't even be able to see the Dover Cliffs from France. It's 20 miles away. But at least you admitted that you believed everything you were told at 5 years old. Because we were naive, gullible, didn't develop our critical thinking. We just, why would our parents or teachers lie to us? It must be right. But then we had a teacher here earlier, you know, who says, yeah, I left teaching because I knew I was teaching things that I couldn't prove myself. So I thought that's quite admirable. He says, I'm telling children about fictitious planets out there that I can't verify myself, that I've just believed. Now I'm passing over to the next generation who are going to pass it on to the next generation. But there's no proof we live in a ball. Sorry, I tied it.
Do you think we'll ever like find out for sure?
Well, I know for sure myself.
No, but do you think it will ever be like actually proven formally and officially by the government?
Yeah, I think it might be because
NASA.
Yeah, because about 3 years ago there was only a handful of videos on YouTube about this subject. Now there are millions. So it's grown so greatly. Now, if what I'm saying is true, and people come to that realization, once you come across truth, you can't go back, can you? I've never known any flat earthers to go back from believing they're in a ball. Because they've come across too much evidence and proof that contradicts what they've been told, and they have no proof that they live in a ball with water on them. And
So do you think that there's more proof that the Earth is flat?
Absolutely,
than there is the Earth is round?
absolutely.
Why would we get told that the Earth is round? Like, what is so offensive about the Earth being round?
Well,
why are they trying to hide that?
Yeah, is it just seeing to what extent you can lie to the human race or something, like seeing how far we can go?
Well, I believe they're hiding further land from us.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
And also, if we can go back to your engineering experience, I've interviewed bridge engineers. Now, bridge engineers who start from either end of the bridge. Right, the one in China, the Dangyang Bridge, 100 miles long. They do not take the curvature of the Earth into consideration when building the bridge.
I think they do. I think if it's a very long bridge, because I'm a bridge engineer.
No. I think
it's a very long bridge. I've never done it myself.
I think the media will tell you that, but if you listen to bridge engineers themselves, they don't. And airline pilots, when they fly, they don't take the curvature of the Earth into consideration either. So how can an aeroplane fly around a ball?
When I was at college, we did survey, and we were told that over a large distance, if you're building a long structure, you have to take into account the curvature of the Earth. There's a factor that you apply to your distance.
Yeah, sounds bad.
And who told you that?
I investigated it myself.
College lecturer.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's the figures they present. But then you can discount that when you show them things that you shouldn't be able to see according to that.
Ah, right, okay.
Yes, no, it's funny, you guys are funny. It's funny how
if the Earth is flat, how come it doesn't get blown away?
Blown away?
Solar wind.
Yeah, or gravity.
What about the other planets? Are there other planets?
Well, how do you know they're planets?
Is it spinning in this
No, it's not spinning.
Spinning.
If you listen to you listen to your sensors, it's telling you you're not spinning. But authorities trying to tell you you're spinning faster than a speeding bullet. And all these things up there, what you see, all you can tell is that they're disc-shaped lights. You can't prove they're solid planets. But we're told they're solid planets.
It would make sense though, because if we're a planet,
but we're not.
Then
it doesn't make sense.
Okay, if we're a bit of land with
we're a flat plane,
then there's probably others. Because we have the conditions for life and Earth and buildings. And
I would agree that
so there must be others.
There might be others, but there'd be flat planes and they wouldn't be up there. They'd be beyond us. All we see up there is coloured lights, disc shape. More than that, we can't prove they're a sphere, can't prove they're a solid sphere. Even the moon, you don't see the other side of the moon.
So if the Earth is flat, do you think it's horizontal? Or do you think it's like that? Or do you think we're upside down?
Horizontal.
You think so?
Yeah.
You sure we just don't know that we're upside down?
Who knows? But look at the behaviour of water. Water has to be contained, and it always drops to its lowest level and lies flat.
So you believe in gravity?
No.
You don't believe in gravity?
No. I'd have to see proof of that before I believe in it. Yeah. Like buoyancy and density explains why things fall. I don't need gravity to explain that.
Buoyancy and density are based on the fact that there's gravity.
That's what we're told, but like the molecules of this camera are heavier than atmosphere, isn't it? So it'll drop. Where a helium balloon is lighter.
So you can see that, so you believe it?
Oh, I see that. The molecules of a helium balloon are lighter, so it'll rise. And I don't need the theory of gravity to come into it at all.
And then when a camera
you need to see things to believe them.
Sorry?
You need to see things to believe them.
Well, that'd be great.
But not flat Earth. You don't need to see that.
No, I know it's flat through my natural observations, but I don't need. I can't believe anything.
It's more of like an inherent feeling. You just feel something's not right about the Earth being round.
I felt that at 5, but that was suppressed out of me. Shut up, gravity. Okay, then, yeah. And it suppresses our natural critical thinking. When we have how does water not fall off miss? How do we stand underneath the ball? Gravity. Shut up. Okay, then it must be gravity. And we just believe that, like parrot fashion. And then when I ask people here, how does water fall on the exterior of a ball? Gravity. It's parrot conditioned thinking. It's not critical thinking. It's programmed thinking.
Oh, we've just gone on about 5 different
Can I ask you if you think your thoughts are your own?
And do you want to wait for all these answers? 5 of them?
I think I'm making up my mind all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your thoughts are your own?
I'm naturally inquisitive, as we are. I think we're all curious to know the truth.
Okay.
Don't you think your thoughts can be conditioned?
Yeah,
definitely. So they might not be your own then?
3,500 troops and that. He says in that interview.
Could be said. Could be said.
So if you're watching a lot of television, a lot of films, reading magazines, listening to other people,
They definitely affect the things that you think.
yeah. So you could be just. So you could be repeating something that's not your actual thought in the first place, like gravity.
Yeah, ultimately it depends how interested you are. You know, if you can form your own opinions about something. Some things I just take for granted. Some things I don't care about.
Yeah.
Some things I'm more interested in.
Fair enough. Yeah. But you must admit when people just say gravity, that's a programmed response because that's what they've been told. But they can't evidence themselves.
But the people who are interested can choose to take it or leave it.
Yeah, absolutely. But who's it? Noam Chomsky who said that the American government spend about billions and billions a year to control the public mind. Through advertising, television, music, films, and then they walk out watching television, repeating what they've just seen, thinking it's their own thoughts. They've been programmed. We were programmed from 5 years old. because we believe we lived in a spinning ball of water on it. Jesus, that's crazy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
As a 5-year-old, we buy it, but come on, an adult critical thinking. If I have a saucer here, a soup dish, and a ball, and I pour water in the bowl, it'll fall off. But the soup dish, it will contain the water, and the water will lie level. That's through our natural observations. But you're supposed to suspend all that natural observation. Oh no, water can form around the exterior of a ball. Oh, can it? All right, I'll believe that then.
I haven't gone round everybody.
And because it's all authority and clever people telling you it, we just believe it. Without any evidence, without any proof. And thank you for being so open-minded and let me to talk to you. That's my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, ladies. Right, thank you. Bye.
You can put me on the internet, mate. How do you explain blind as time?
Hello there.
How do you see?
I'm just filming for my YouTube channel. Is that okay?
Yeah, I just got some donuts.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
These are in circles, like the Earth.
Oh, the circles. Yeah, I think the Earth might be a circle. Yeah.
I haven't told this gentleman here about this.
The flat.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yes, of course. Yes. Can I ask you why you think it's a ball you live on?
I can't help. I mean, like people are doing them, but
Because of the circumference of the ball. Because from space, when we look down, we see a circumference.
Have you looked down from space?
I haven't myself.
Right.
But
So it's second-hand information you have then. That's a ball. It's a belief then.
yeah.
Yeah. What if I said to you that belief wasn't true? That people were lying to you about the shape of the Earth?
Oh, I'd be gutted. Because I've always thought.
If you see that gentleman in the check shirt there, it's called Robert Simon. In a radio interview, he produces all these blue marble
cigarette?
shots. Oh,
Sorry? Can you roll me a cigarette while I
I will
talk
after
to
this,
him?
mate.
Yeah.
I will after this.
I know this is going to take some time.
No, just 2 seconds. He produces all the blue marble shots for NASA, and he claims that they're Photoshop, they're not photographs, because he produces them. So if you don't have real photographs of Earth from space, what other proof?
So that's just your word against ours.
Yeah, but I'm asking you not to believe me, to go and research that. Research Robert Simon.
I can't research that, can I?
You can go on the internet and listen to his radio broadcast. And he's a data visual engineer, and if you look on NASA, he works for NASA, and you can see that he's been legit about. He explains how he conducts the Photoshop images of Earth. He says they are Photoshop because they have to be, he said. And so would you believe it?
I'm into conspiracies, but I'm not into what you're saying.
But this is not a conspiracy. This is.
So you're saying this is fact?
Yeah,
that the Earth is flat.
Absolutely. When you were
like a pizza flying through the universe.
Well, it's not flying anywhere. It's not moving. All your senses are telling you now that you're not spinning. I'm not spinning, but authorities will tell you you're spinning faster than a speeding bullet. It's ridiculous. When you were 5 years old, at the same time as me, you believed in Santa Claus and Tooth Fairy, correct?
Oh yeah.
They took you into a school and told you live in a spinning ball with water going around it. You believed it.
Yeah. All the different people, all the different countries, all around this world.
Right.
That's what we are.
Would you class yourself as a critical thinker? Okay, as an independent adult critical thinking, how can water conform to the exterior of a ball?
How can water, sorry?
How can water conform to the exterior of a ball?
Well, unless you've got gravity and stuff, it can.
And may I ask you if that's a program response when you say gravity? Can you prove that?
Well, no, I just know that from being taught.
Yeah, well, being told rather than
Yeah.
taught.
Told.
But there's no evidence for that. Now, would you agree science has to be demonstrable, repeatable and measurable with its claims? So that they cannot produce a working model of a ball with water going around it. It's never been proven.
But they can.
Well, can you recite any time they've done that? Considering we've been researching this for 4 years, and I'm telling you they can't.
4 years?
Yeah.
Oh, blimey. 4 years researching something, and there's been hundreds of years before you.
There's been hundreds of years of flat Earth research before as well. but that was suppressed around the 1940s, 50s when NASA came into fore and showed the world a couple of images. Look, you live in a ball. Okay, then that's proved it. We live in a ball. Because the flat Earth resurgence.
No, that wasn't proved with NASA. That was proved with.
Yeah. But I'm saying the flat Earth thing was growing at that time. So when NASA came in and said, look, it's a ball. Yeah, we proved it. Okay then.
But we had Archimedes, we have
It's an advertising for
people in deep history saying things.
Before they had a telescope.
If I'm a child,
But yeah, they're telling you about space and planets. And
They're watching the sky, they're seeing it move.
yes, it moves.
They're understanding what happens over there because people rode on horseback and actually told them what was happening a few days ago. So it is a sphere. It has to be.
Yeah, but they cannot prove it's a ball, water on it. That's never been proven. There's a lot of theories about it, but nobody's actually proved it. And I've just told you, your photographs of Earth are not real.
Am I on film?
Did you not notice it? Yeah, my YouTube channel. Yeah. So we're just speaking to everybody in the street and saying that, look, I was lied to. I had to admit to myself that all I had was a belief, because I believed everything I was told. Until 4 years ago, I started asking for proof. And there isn't any proof. But yeah, through natural observations, you can tell we live in a flat plane. You can see things way in the distance that we shouldn't be seeing. Should be over the curvature. So what, do you think there's any possibility that what you believed about it may not be true? Or are you 100% sure you live in a ball of water?
I'm 100% sure. I live on a ball of water spinning through space. It's got different atmospheres, and that's how it works.
There's no possibility that may be wrong.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Right. Oh well. We'll just agree to disagree, but I'm just saying this is one of the biggest movements on the internet right now.
Yeah.
4 years ago there was about a handful of videos about the subject, now there's millions.
I'm happy to accept stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm also happy not to accept stuff.
It's good to discuss things with people of a different opinion, don't you think?
Yeah. I don't know if it's a religious thing or
Not religious.
just a flat planet thing.
Flat planet, yeah, pure and simple. I never really bought the creation story or the Big Bang story. Never bought any of them. Yeah. But you'll find if you go on the internet, you'll find this is really popular.
And that's based on Admiral Byrd. He went down to Antarctica. He took 3,500 troops, like American Navy, and you can see it's all documented. He also was on a news program called the Longigenes or something, and he's in an interview. The 50s or something. It's all black and white. And he talks about going to the South Pole, and beyond the South Pole, he discovered more land bigger than America itself. Okay, so there could be more land. Okay, now this is Admiral. Now he didn't do this TV interview on April the 4th. He did this as a serious interview. He talked about more land with more mineral and mining opportunities down there beyond the South Pole. Okay, so now he's either an idiot, cuckoo idiot, it just seems highly unlikely that he would say so just to hoax everybody. It seems very unlikely. So all I'm saying is there could be more land, okay? And if there is more land, then no, you're not contained on the sphere. That you can't get off what we perceive as Earth. You can't get off. You can go explore. It seems illogical because your indoctrination and my indoctrination, same as yours. A year ago, I believed what you thought, possibly, maybe. You went to the same schools probably as me. Let's say it's going to Australia.
I just think it's an interesting concept.
Oh. And where are you with the subject?
I'm definitely a sphere.
And why do you think it's a sphere? Is that me?
You believe what your eyes see.
And have you seen a sphere?
Yeah, I've seen plenty of spheres and representations.
Have you, for your own eyes, though, seen that this is a sphere?
I have seen what's been on the news.
Yeah. If I may say so, though, but they could make anything look real on the television box. Couldn't they?
Yeah, I've also been up on aeroplanes.
Sorry?
I've also been up on aeroplanes.
But have you ever seen a curvature from the airplane?
Well, I've never been an astronaut, so I can't really tell you firsthand.
But we should see curvature from an airplane, though. But we don't.
Very gradual.
No. If you speak to airline pilots as well, they'll say they've never seen any curvature. Now, that's the curvature chart that they give us, so we should be able to see some curvature from top of a mountain, but especially on an airplane at 35,000 feet. So no,
that's just perception.
Okay then, but then we should be able to have some evidence of that, other than a GoPro lens.
It's round, if it's flat, it's flat.
Yeah. Do you think there's any possibility you might be lied to?
All the time.
Sorry?
All the time, especially by the people who collect me taxis.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much for the discussion.
He takes his phone, goes on the aeroplane, and you can see the bubble, you can see it invert, you can see it ascend the plane, you see the bubble move, and then it stays level, and then it goes in as well, and it stays level all the way when it descends. Okay? Now, he did that trick, and I thought, well, I want to try this at home. You know what 24-hour timer is? Yeah. You know, so I put my cradle in the 24-hour timer, I glued a phone to it, I put the
That's just the way you water it down. That's just the way you water it down. That's a big trick.
You can see that bubble, you can see it invert. And you would expect to do that. You can do it with your phone right now. If I put a bubble there,
it's still go down the hole. It doesn't mean that, that was spinning 1,000 miles an hour apparently. That's because that's what they say. You know? Do you feel yourself spinning? Well, there you go. No sensors tell you that you're not spinning.
Yes, I feel like I'm still on flat.
Exactly. That's you just said it.
Because the Earth is such a big.
It's not that big though. If you the calculation formula over there, you have a look at that. It's not that big.
When you go to school.
I went to school, but school didn't teach me anything that I need to know in life. They teach you rubbish. School is just nonsense.
Now that was a bit disrespectful question, don't you think? Did you go to school?
Yeah, because that means that you're more intelligent than me just because I'm asking you questions.
I'm just asking if you went to science lessons.
Oh, that's fair enough then. Did you go to science classes?
And you know what the science teacher showed us? Water in a bucket, spinning it around his head. Oh, the water's not coming out because of gravity. It's got a barrier. The water's obviously not going to come out because it's contained. You know? So there's that. Water has to be contained no matter what. No matter what.
It's the molecules.
Yeah, it still has to be contained no matter where it is. No matter where it is. It took me a long time.
You can stir a spoon and you can make water's molecules change.
But then when you stop stirring, what happens? When you stop stirring, what happens? You know when you stop stirring, what happens to that liquid? It drops away.
It's interesting.
But you just said in a cup.
Yeah, well, in the cup.
Yeah, so when you stop stirring, what happens? It's just going to stop and go flat, isn't it, again? Yeah. So why would anything else happen if that's what's happening? You see what I mean?
No, you're not interested at all.
Dude, we're mad.
This is a more accurate size, with your Greenland being smaller, your Africa being larger.
Oh right, so have you done that true size thing?
Oh yeah.
Right, so you kind of know that the bigger single is donkeys years over the maps.
Well, I mean, come on, in school you would have seen the other maps as well. I mean, we were all shown like 3 different styles.
When you get to kind of like maybe my day, which was like 50 years, maybe I might have seen it.
Do you mind if I ask you a response to that? Can I ask you a response to what you've seen?
not growing up, not being indoctrinated.
Well, it says, are you being lied to?
We all use that same map.
And then it says proves Earth is not spinning a ball. So that must be the lie.
We're challenging what we've been told about living on a ball.
Yeah.
When you were very young, about 5, they took you into class and told you you lived on a ball with water around it. But as an adult now with critical thinking, I'm asking you, how can water conform to the exterior of a ball?
How can water be forced to follow a ball?
How can it conform to the exterior of a ball?
Well, it's what's they call it? Not magnetism.
Sorry? Gravity.
Gravity.
But is that not a programmed response by us though? Because that's what we've been told, and we can't prove that.
Oh, I think we prove it because you can just go out and see it.
Well,
you just got to look at the horizon and see it's got a bend in it if you've got a big enough view.
Have you seen a bend on the horizon?
Yeah.
Where at the ends or the front?
No. It just goes very, very slightly. And if you can imagine that for 12,000 miles.
You've seen that with your own eyes?
Yeah.
Where have you seen that?
Oh, I don't know. Anywhere where there's a good cliff and plenty of sea to look at. You haven't?
No. If you listen to airline pilots, they'll tell you they've never seen the curvature either.
Oh, well, it's all in the mind in that case.
I think there's a bit of truth to that because we've been socially conditioned to expect to see it. But when I ask people, okay, you've seen it, did you take a photograph of it? And everybody says no. I said, well, we need to see evidence of that if people claim they can see the curvature.
Of course, it might be an optical illusion. No, the curvature that you think you see is probably because it's a matter of perspective, because what in front of you is nearer than what the sides are. So,
and plus, people claim that a boat's going over the curvature.
Yeah.
But you just use a zoom camera and you zoom in and see the whole of that boat again, proving it's not going over a curvature. It's just going out your line of perspective, as you just said.
Yeah.
So we can prove that we're not on a ball.
So what do you think then? The Earth is not spinning, but it is a ball, or it's flat.
It's flat. It's flat.
A flat Earth.
Yeah.
You still believe that?
No, I don't believe it. I know that.
No, it's bullshit.
I'll leave you to find somebody else.
Well, no, you can see they're here, can't you? You can see that they're standing, someone's built them with spirit levels, which are level. Well, I know you can't see that, obviously, but, like, what do you mean?
Can't see what you're talking about. I can see all this amazing stuff. World spinning in a perfect sphere.
How can you see the Earth spinning?
I know. No one can.
When I'm asked, that's what I can say.
Well, that's because that's what we've been told. That's the thing. You need to question what we've been told.
If it's not, then we're all going to suddenly fly off it.
Why would you? Are you made of helium? Are you have a weight to your body? You're going to stay on the ground?
Yeah, I do have a weight.
Exactly. Everybody has weight. Like bones, heavy. Like we weigh something. That's why we jump on a scales. Why does the scale say a number? Say for instance, you put 2 scales, you get 2 different things. Does that mean gravity's going to make them 2 different numbers?
I
don't know what you're talking about.
Gravity's not selective. A weight has a weight. Like we have a weight. We're not going to fly away because we weigh something. That's all it is. Very
we've
simple.
always got a central weight.
Yeah, it's very, very simple. Gravity doesn't need to be there for that. It's...
When are you going to share those donuts out?
I'm waiting.
I bought them from my girlfriend.
Oh, your girlfriend's not coming now. You may as well share them out.
No, I will. Because we'll probably have to buy some other ones.
No, I'm joking. Don't, no. No, I don't.
About donuts.
But what's your girlfriend going to say about it?
She's going to say, get some more donuts.
Where is your girlfriend? Is she late?
I mean, like, if you look.
Is your girlfriend
No,
late?
I got to go on a bus to see her.
Oh, right.
Good God.
See what? These are peer-reviewed, science. Earth failure, and might be some more.
You've got some sting power.
And if you look at this LIGO experiment, this LIGO is a Michelson-Morley experiment.
Yeah. Okay.
It's based completely on that. And
only by the amount of universe there is, the amount of expansion by time.
Where does the theory start?
How does the theory start? Well, there's theories that they get to be proved, aren't they?
Right. Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. They haven't been proved. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. They've been
There's no more
acknowledged
evidence
as,
for anything else.
So what I'm saying is that you could have a theory right now and tell me that lamppost is made of Lamont. That's your theory. And then I come along and I go, you know what? I tested it. I smelt it and all that. I'm sure it's jelly. And that's my theory. And you say, and someone else backs me up and they say, you know what? I kind of think so as well, but I haven't touched it, but it kind of seems so. And that's how all these theories are made up. They're just made up by people talking about them, and there is no evidence.
Well, only mathematical evidence there, but that's why it's a theory and not a guess.
So again, do you think that pseudoscience and mathematics, do you think that explains your reality?
I'd like to think it possibly does. There with at least some maths to back it up.
I'm glad you do, because that's pseudoscience, mathematics, spherical trigonometry. Okay.
Okay.
So that's mathematics.
Yeah, I'll go back to work and have a look at this.
Good.
I'm not that great with the numbers, but I'll do what I can.
Yeah, and that's all we're saying. We're not saying you can't believe anything I would be trying to say in 5 minutes. It's not possible. You've had this, an education, the same as me, and I believe I was indoctrinated and all that. And all we're just saying, just critically examine the evidence again. Or try and keep to your cup half empty. Like if you go with it with a mind full of, like my cup's full. You just, I suggest don't go. Don't look into it.
Yeah.
But you have to be open-minded a little bit.
I might be even a little bit to test this the curvature thing. I know someone who makes weather balloons.
Okay, yeah. And how would he test it with a weather balloon?
Because he makes them for fun as well.
Yeah, but how would he test the glow?
Cameras.
We're talking about cameras and all that. Yeah, because when we
like just our own camera.
Okay, and all I would say is tell him not to use a GoPro or a fisheye lens camera. Okay.
Maybe one of my own.
Because all I'm saying is that's what most people use.
Can I suggest though that you use, I guess, a GoPro camera and a wide-angle lens,
so you can see the difference.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's a fair point, that is. And all it is that we've got lots of amateur footage of people sending us weather balloons up there, and that's what we get. That's exactly what we get. You can go online, if you just put in amateur footage of, you'll know the difference between a fisheye lens, I would think.
Yeah.
You seem bright enough, I'm sure you'd know the difference. But most people are switched off, they go, oh yeah, and they don't realise that at some point it's inverted.
Yeah.
So the second that you see that,
I know. Like I said, you're still up in very dubious territory. We're friends who makes lenses for satellites.
Yeah, no, you said that. No, we had a guy that actually as part of a company that launches satellites in space.
Oh yeah.
But he still couldn't tell me. Well, how does he know where his signal is coming from when they're in? He said, "Well, I get all the telemetry data and all that." He said, "I know it's up there." I said, "But how can you prove to me where it's coming from?"
Good girl, Dad.
And
how about your phone signals? They'll be blocked by mountains and stuff.
So what we're saying,
it has to be from a satellite.
Well, we're saying it's all cell towers because your phone goes to every phone around here. I don't know. There's an app that you can put on there, and it'll tell you where your phone signal comes. And every place on Earth, it will tell you which cell tower. As you're walking along, you can also find every cell tower that you go to, and that's all it is. They just and same with GPS, triangulation, ELORIN.
Or high altitude balloons. Did you see the one that came down last year in Brazil?
Yeah. That was an actual satellite attached to a high altitude balloon. And if you look at Project Loon on your phone, you see Google's now got into it. They're putting satellites up there. And, is it Stratosphere? Is that?
Yeah.
It's Stratosphere, isn't it? Yeah. So they're putting I mean, that's not me making it. Because you got a smartphone. You could put anything I say. You could just go on your phone and go, oh, he's bullshit, or he's not. Project Loon, look at that.
Yeah, all right, I'll have a little read.
It's been good talking to you.
Thank you, buddy. I'm sorry, I'm far from convinced.
No, it shouldn't be. 5 minutes, you can't be doing it. It's not done. I expect people to just...
But I think what we really like is having respect for conversation of different opinion.
Yeah.
I
mean, this was big, about 3 or 4 years ago. It was all over,
the bear
It's so big. Yeah.
I seen all over the 4chan with the flat earthers.
I wish I'd seen it back then.
Yeah, but now there's millions on YouTube, millions of channels.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much for your time.
Yeah,
anyway.
all right, cheers.
Thank you.
I mean, it's obviously quite a broad statement, just to throw it out there. I mean, it's all we've ever known, really. You know, the Earth's a massive spinning ball. But I mean, there's some good points here. I won't lie. I mean, I'm just waiting in line to speak to Giza, but.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Hey, what if I put it to you that when we were about 5 years old, when we believed in Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus, we were taken into a classroom and we're told we lived in a spinning ball with water on it. Now, we totally accept that. I'm asking you now, as a young man with independent critical thinking, how can water conform to the exterior of a ball?
Sorry,
do you think?
repeat the question. You can edit that out, obviously. But,
No, how do you think water can conform to the exterior of a ball?
I don't know. Are you a believer of the flat Earth theory? Or?
Well, yeah, but it's not so much a belief.
Yeah.
I'm questioning what I'm being told,
Yeah.
rather than making claims which shape it is.
I mean, all things that we're told we have to question. Otherwise, how are we ever going to move forward in science and all of that?
And do you think people question what they're told?
I mean, it's quite a it's a very big thing to question. But I mean,
Is it? Oh, sorry, the subject matter is a big question. All right.
I mean, do you believe that humans have ever travelled out of space, out of the atmosphere?
No.
Never touched the moon. So the
Do
moon.
you?
I don't know. I'm only.
Oh, well, it's an honest response. I used to believe that, yes, but now I'm asking for proof using my critical thinking.
Yeah.
Instead of showing me CGI and cartoons, what's the proof that somebody went to the moon or spacewalk? Now, one of the first things you do when you go to the moon, do you ever climb mountains?
What, moon mountains?
No, these mountains in Britain. Have you ever?
Oh yeah.
I don't know about you, but Tara, I don't know about you, but when I get to the top of the mountain, one of the first things I do is 360. Go round.
Yeah.
Now nobody's ever taken a camera on the moon or on a spacewalk and did a 360.
Why is that then?
Yeah, good question. Why do you think that is?
Yeah.
Same way as Coronation Street doesn't.
Because it would break the fourth wall.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
What about the fact that when you're at the top of a mountain and you were to look out, you can. I know one of the main theories against flat Earth theory is that you can actually see the curvature of the Earth from atop a mountain. Like Mount Everest, I know is a point where people have said that they can see the curvature.
Have you seen the curvature?
I mean, I have been on a plane, and I don't really know what I see, but I mean, I can't actually see a physical end, so I don't know if that contributes to your theory or whether it contradicts it. There's obviously a man being very controversial.
He was really nice earlier, but
making a bit of a fool of himself there.
Yeah, but if you speak to pilots who say they've never seen any curvature of the Earth, and I've flown and I've flown my own paragliders, I've never seen a curvature of the Earth. But yet, it's like me expecting people to believe I've seen it Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
So I'm asking people who've seen the curvature, well, did you take a photograph of it?
No.
I said, well, I mean, I think we're socially conditioned to expect to see one.
So what was the turning point for you in your life that you thought, hang on a second, I'm gonna combat this idea?
Yeah, well, this was before seeing anything on the internet. I fly drones and supposed to be connected to satellites, but I wouldn't get a connection in valleys and remote places. But now they're with my phone.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, was that land-based or? So then I started researching for satellites in space. Could see no footage of satellite in space, just CGI or cartoons. And I researched rockets in space, just CGI or cartoons. So I already knew the moon landings were fake.
Well, how did I'm on the fences. I don't want you to think that I'm being controversial. What was the point that you thought that the moon landing was fake? Because I've seen the videos. Fucking hell.
Thank you. Now you're just going to hurt. I think you should sit down because you're just going to hurt yourself and destroy people's property. Come on, up you come. Up. Now go over and sit down there, look, because you're just going to destroy things.
I'm going to stop.
So are you honestly on the fence though?
On the fact that I'm kind of on the fence. I don't believe for or against. I've never seen proof of either. So.
Right. But you see the measurable curvature that they give us. Right. According to that chart, we shouldn't be able to see things that we do see in the distance.
Right.
Like the longest photograph taken was about 270 miles. Now the islands that you can see over 270 miles should be 2 miles below the curvature.
Right.
But we can see them.
So
So there's plenty of proofs that we are not on a ball.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's a...
Jesus.
Not driving on the motorway in a car.
Oh.
Must be testing your patience here a bit.
Sorry?
Must be testing your patience here a bit.
Yes, so, but there are many proofs, and especially water.
Yeah.
I mean, water always finds its own level.
Yeah, it's always spherical as well if you were to leave it to sit. I've watched quite a lot of videos on it, and I've just tried to find the truth myself.
It sometimes pushes at the edge to try to get out the glass. There's a wee curve at the top.
Yeah.
But on a land mass, there's no measurable curvature, there's no visible curvature. Like
What
between
about-
here and America, there should be a huge mountain of water.
Yeah. What about like visibility and humidity levels? Like that would surely affect how far you can see.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. That's why people say when it's flat, how come you can't see forever? That's as well the density in atmosphere.
Exactly.
And weather patterns. And
Even if the Earth was flat, you wouldn't be able to see right to the very edge.
Absolutely, yeah. Although, somebody did an experiment, they were in an aeroplane and got a camera like this, and they put an infrared lens in the front, and it takes away the atmosphere, the clouds,
All right, so
and you can see to then.
Oh wow!
I thought, wow, it's amazing.
I've never heard that technology.
Yeah. Now, you know, some people say there's an ice wall around. I don't know if there is, but there's certainly a white line around it.
Oh yeah.
And I think, wow, that's mind blowing.
So, what about space? So, what is above the Earth and what's below the Earth?
Well, I don't know.
It's just on theory, I guess. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
everything's on theory.
Absolutely, yeah. And the deepest they've drilled down is 8 miles. So
Yeah, so we don't know what's at the core. That we hear about that.
and they try to tell us what's at the core. Well, how do we know that? We're second-hand information again.
Yeah.
Everything is second-hand information about the heliocentric model.
Yeah.
Because we can't verify any of it ourselves.
No. So what about gravity?
Yeah, what about gravity?
So gravity doesn't exist then, I suppose.
Have you ever seen it? Have you ever felt it? Have you ever touched it, smelled it?
No, but then again, I've never touched oxygen, and I know that I breathe it. through
Well,
experiments and
you can
et
see oxygen when you expel your air, can't you?
Is
in
that,
certain conditions.
Is that oxygen or is that carbon dioxide that I'm breathing out?
Well, I think it's a mixture. There's a small part of oxygen, and mostly it's carbon dioxide.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time it's THC for me.
Yeah. But you see, when I've done CPR, I've trained to do CPR.
Well, no, you don't have to.
There's carbon, there's oxygen in that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to keep somebody alive. If it was all carbon dioxide, if it was all carbon dioxide, then you wouldn't be able to keep anybody alive. So there is oxygen you expel from your body. You know, your lungs can't deal with all the oxygen that's coming in, so it has to expel some.
And we've got the trees to thank for that as well.
Absolutely, carbon dioxide.
That's a scientific thing that's actually been proven. Whereas I don't know about the ice wall, but I don't particularly know what would happen if I was to go to the edge of the world. Then would you fall? Where would you fall?
Well, all water has to be contained. Like a lake, we don't see that when we see a lake whisk to the edge.
Right, yeah.
We know it's surrounded by land, don't we?
So where there is a start of water, there has to be an end, or there has to be a circumference that keeps it in.
Yeah. But it'd just be land around it, wouldn't there?
Yeah.
And there is new footage now. You can see it on YouTube of somebody on an aeroplane flying for 20 minutes, and you can see a 200-foot ice wall. It's just non-stop. Thomas Cook, traveller, Captain Cook, in his journals wrote that he travelled for 67,000 miles round a 200-foot ice wall, and he couldn't find an entrance. Now, 2 other sailors have recorded that in the journals, so I'm not saying that's true. But and there's a Admiral Byrd who went on 3 expeditions to Antarctica. Lots of aircraft carriers, ships, airplanes, and he claimed you could see further land bigger than America beyond Antarctica.
So they're still undiscovered.
Yeah, with no ice on it.
I want to believe that, so that there's still the hope that we can become our own Christopher Columbuses and go and explore new worlds and discover like new civilizations. Maybe.
Absolutely, yeah. But you know, what if there was an ice wall around and that contains the water in it, and the sun moves round a flat plane in between the north and south poles?
What's to say it's an ice wall? Because surely, especially due to global warming, I don't know whether you believe in that, but I've seen quite a lot of proof for it. So surely, the ice wall would start to deteriorate or start to melt.
Due to what? Sorry.
Global warming.
Well,
is that a controversial topic in itself?
I think it's the most controversial topic. Did you know about the 30,000 scientists suing the government for the fraud of climate change?
Seriously?
Yeah.
I guess they would have profited a lot.
If you Google it, it's 30 or 60,000 scientists suing the government and Al Gore for the fraud of climate change. Now, here we have scientists on both sides of the coin, one calling others liars and a fraud. So surely we should listen to scientists saying that these scientists are lying to you and it's a fraud. That's evidence, isn't it?
I mean, scientists, it only ever really seems to be theory. There's still so much that we don't know about the Earth.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've only explored something like, 20% of all of the oceans, and they still have the audacity to say that animals have become extinct, and I don't know how they have the authority to say that when there's still so much of the Earth yet to be explored.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.